got drafted as a third baseman, then I played third and second, then I played third, second, left, and right. When I got called up, yes, because an outfielder got hurt. But that whole year in the minor leagues, I was playing infield and outfield. And then following year, I played.
So how important is it to know all the positions?
I mean, that was my key to make it to the big leagues was, being able to play whatever I had to. That started at this age. I think I was a catcher first. Then we got a guy that was a really good catcher, and I went to second base. And we got some guys that could play infield. I went to the outfield and just constantly moving around and learning to play everything. I think that's the biggest thing is, I played with so many guys throughout like college and high school and the minor leagues even that can only play one position, and then all it takes is for one guy to be better than you at that position and you're stuck. I think I pitched quite a little bit in travel ball and little league, stuff like that. I pitched a little bit, messing around. But I realized pretty fast that wasn't mine.
So did you throw gas though?
No.
So what kind of pitcher were you?
I threw a bunch of spin. I threw so much spin. I had a really good curveball and I just threw it a lot. But it never really hurt, so I was able to just throw it. That was my pitch. But I stopped, I think high school, I didn't pitch anymore. After middle school, I stopped.
How did you get your baseball number?
My number? Okay, so I like single digit numbers. I was always number 4. So when I got called up, I was number 9. But then John Jay was coming back to the Diamondbacks, and he's a veteran. And they asked me if I'd be willing to give my number up to give it to him. And he's a veteran guy, so I gave it to him. And then that was the next available one was 10. That was the closest one to a single digit. So I like it now. I wouldn't change it now, but that's how I ended up.
All right, so I have just one more question for you, Josh. Just one more question. How does it feel now that you're in the big leagues when you give back to like this group?
I think it's awesome. I think the biggest thing for me is to like let you guys know that it's normal baseball. It's just cooler because the stadium is crazy and the lights are brighter, and you're playing against guys like Bryce Harper and Manny Machado that you've seen on TV for so long. It's like, I know, like trust me, it's the same thing happens to us. Like you get out there and you step on the field and you're next to Manny Machado and you're just looking at him like, dang, that's Manny Machado. Like, this is crazy. But it is? Yeah. And then you see these guys and you're like, all right, these are normal people. They mess up just like us. They have bad at-bats. They get angry. It's crazy. So like me meeting you guys, it just lets you know like, oh, he's just a normal. He played baseball in these same leagues that I'm playing in, and then you just keep playing and get to the top.
It starts with the dream, hard work, and loving the sport, and then just never quitting, right? And the thing is that anyone can make it. He's from this area. I mean, he's living proof. Love the game. Like, that's it. Just love it.
Josh did it the hard way. He doesn't remember us because we played with his dad when he was telling me he was going to go to Millennium all the time. He would always have his glove with him. He always wanted to play catch. And then we just go to his house to hit. He doesn't remember all this, but we just go to his house to hit because he has a cage, his dad. And he would immediately we get there, he'd come out right away. He wanted to hit too.
I think the biggest thing is watch the game. Watch games on TV. I think you learn. Like I remember I used to watch games with my dad, and we'd rewind and watch again. Like, how did he do that play? And then you make mental notes, and then you start to realize, like, you watch the game enough, and you see things happen and things come up, and then you'll do it on the field, and you're like, holy! I did that because I just saw it on TV. A backhand play that you didn't think you could make, but you saw it, and it just logged into the memory. So watch the game, especially this World Series about to be some young kids out there, 21, 22, 23-year-old kids out there. It's crazy.
I hope you guys all listen because, like, it's so important. At this age, it's so important.
That's like the name of the game. Everyone's going to have a slump. There's no, like, oh, I'm not going to have a slump this year. Like, if Mike Trout's hitting 312, everybody sees it on SportsCenter when he's 0 for his last 20, yet nobody can stop talking about it. So it's like, who can keep those slumps really small? Because, like, the difference between, like, Mike Trout and normal people is, like, his slump will end before anybody realizes. Like, he has an 0 for 8, but we're mentally, like, maybe me or somebody out here, an 0 for 8 is pure panic, and it turns into an 0 for 30 really quick. It's like, okay, Mike Trout has an 0 for 8, and he shows up and just thinks, I'm the greatest player in the world, and then it's gone and it's over. So I think it's the mental part of it is who can fail the least. That's it. At some point, there's going to be people that are better than you, and there's going to be people that are the same. And then you look across, and when that guy fails, what does he do? Does he shut down? Does he want to quit? Does he want to go home? Does he want to throw his helmet? Like, some people literally just when they have a slump, they miss home. They have to go home. That's it. I think you just try to remember that it's a kid's game. Like, we're playing the same game that you guys play. Like, it's gonna be fine. You're gonna get out a lot more than you get hits. So you just got to remember that all the time. It's a kid's game. It's supposed to be fun.
In the moment on the field, you just made a mistake. How do you brush that off?
So I actually was lucky enough to work with a mental skill. We had an actual mental skills coach with Houston in the minor leagues. That really helped me, because before, it was in like high school and college, it was every time you made a mistake, I don't know about everybody, but like the first thing in my head was like, what is my coach thinking? What are my parents thinking? Like, are they embarrassed because their kid, like, all those things those are real things that run through your head, especially like at the highest level. You think about all those things. I think the biggest thing is like learning, watching guys, Kobe Bryant, like those guys talk about like real mental training. It's a real thing. Like, you have to train your mental to learn how to adapt to those situations, because they're not normal situations. Like, making an error in front of people is not like people that work 9 to 5s. They don't go through that stress. Like, it's different. It's different than a normal life. I think if you train your mental, it helps a lot. It helps with visualization. Like, literally, guys being able to look at a picture on video, and then their body will remember it for the game. Like that type of stuff.
So, if bases are loaded, what's like your approach at the plate?
It depends. There's I think that's another one of those mental skills things on like how to control yourself under those situations. Like, what are you going to think about? And like, for me, that changes throughout a year. Sometimes I'm up there in big situations like you're talking about, and the thing that's been working for me is directional. Like, I'm gonna keep the ball to the middle of the field that I'm talking about. Like, sometimes that is a cue, and that's what's working for me. And then sometimes that's not feeling good, and sometimes it's like, okay, I'm gonna sit on a certain pitch, or I'm gonna wait for his spin right here because I know he's gonna throw me spin, or the fastball away, he's been beating me with it, I'm gonna sit on that. Sometimes just location works. Like, I'm gonna hit something away, I'm gonna hit something in. It changes throughout the year. I think finding something that works, and then learning to evolve. It's everything I'm talking about is different, because you guys play, you practicing twice a week, and you're playing, on the weekends. So like, these things you're gonna have to worry about more in like high school, like when you're playing multiple days over and over. That's when like this stuff is really important. It's easy, to have a bad weekend and then have 5 days to, like, there should be no, there is, I've been there, but if you get good at like mental skills stuff, then there should be no carryover by the next week. But I think really focusing on that now, when you do have 5 days, like, if you have a bad game this weekend and then you're playing the following weekend, and something pops up in your head like, oh man, last weekend, second and third, I made an error. Like, something like that pops in your head, you should like know, like, oh, I should probably like look into some stuff on like, how can I be in the moment? Little stuff like that. I think that'd be very helpful.
I just want to thank you, Josh, for coming out here, man. I appreciate it. I know my brother does. I know Kirk does. The organization does. And the more you can come out, man, you're more than welcome to come out here and take some ground balls with